It doesn't have to be too complex.
Sorry, I misunderstood that whole move.
That's okay.
And so,
That's all right.
Okay, so I'm... Yeah, I just sort of... I'm going to take the golden teacup
Mm-hmm.
and the tea and sort of sniff it. I'm like, well, there's clearly something going on, something unusual here. But what I know is that this is good tea. And, you know, we had good tea that one time before. And, you know, let's just head down to the kitchen and get some hot water and just have that, and it'll all be simple. You know, this is clearly a room where, you know, parties were had, people were here, people were having a wonderful time. And, you know, soon maybe we can invite some people around and have a party of ourselves, and we can use one of these many TC sets, and that'll be that. And
tea without biscuits.
That's an excellent point.
Biscuits yesterday with the bread and with the flour and water. I don't think the servants liked that.
Well, yes, that was a poor decision on certain people's parts. There are servants who are more inclined to us, who we have not done such things to.
So Mother,
we did anything.
So Mother, so you're taking the token of the golden teacup and the tea. That's perfectly fine. I want to know, so because obviously you connected it to this sort of having tea party stuff, which is great. How does this show either disloyalty or faithfulness of Bluebeard?
I think it is a token of faithfulness.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's this sort of social thing. You know, if it's trying to just sort of trap people and stop them getting in there, it would be about isolating us. But this clearly shows, those memory clearly show that we've been, you know, there's visitors, they come, they visit, and that's, you know, as they should.
Perfect.
And that's how it's been done in the past, and that's how we should continue to do it.
Yes, he definitely seems like a sort of so generous person to have so many tea. Like, wow, be able to put on the show. So, yeah, nothing untoward there. Perfect. All right, so that means there is one mark on the faithfulness track. Everyone heals one trauma as a result of taking faithfulness. And as you pick up the teacup and the tea, the smell of Assam comes into your sort of nostrils, and you feel more relaxed as a result. And you leave the room. And as you proposed an exit, I think that's the one. Sorry, let me double check. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, you can choose to pass on the ring to somebody else.
Okay. Anyway, well, I will. Is this the point where everyone has had it at some point?
I haven't had it.
The Fatel has not had it yet. So.
Well, that's who I was going to give it to anyway, so that makes sense.
That works.
I'll pass it to the Fatel because biscuits, obviously.
Yes.
Obviously.
I think rather than going to the kitchen, I would probably try to go to a larder or pantry of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And I start looking. I mean, my nose, I think, is very good at finding it. But I should probably look for the matching key in case it is locked. And I search through the keys, and I try to look for something that is an indicator of any way, because people seem to be very averse to like labeling these keys here.
So the one that says pantry on it.
A big key.
Yeah.
But actually, I find a ring that catches my eye, and it seems to be shaped. It's made out of this sort of almost reddish color. Like it's been painted with enamel or something, and it's got a picture of like a cornucopia of fruit of berries, and they almost look like little jewels. And I was like, I bet you that's the key. Also, that's so pretty.
That's the one for me.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. You take a moment to look around, and there is a door that matches that key. The door itself, as you get closer to it, smells sweet. And as you start to put the key in the lock, you can feel it. It is slightly sticky to the touch. There's a white paint on the door, which is yellowed over time, and the ornate handle pushes it open easily with years of use. But as always, you put the key in the lock, you turn it, the door opens and the room beckons. You enter and the doors shut behind you. This room is tiny. A single light shines down on you, casting shadows on the ugliest parts of your body. Directly in front of you is a row of beautifully decorated cakes and candies with berries and fruits all on top of them. There are almond cookies frosted like roses, cream-filled cakes stacked upon one another. Delicate, petite fours laced with sugar crystals and edible gems. Beneath the cakes is a shelf packed full of cloudy jars of preservatives, enough to feed an entire house should it needed. Nailed to the shelf are various bundles of dried herbs, some including bits of bone and tied together with pieces of leather. And near your feet, you spy various crates covered in soft linen, and to your left, there is a row of sort of faded cardboard boxes.
Jackpot.
What would you like to do? Yeah. Yes!
Yes!
Did it.
I think I would like to look for something that would dip nicely in this tea that we're carrying.
Absolutely. So yeah, all of you see these beautiful row of cakes, and it is, to break character, it is like something out of a Great British Bake Off. It's this amazing spread. It's like that proper like camera view over it, and it's like
Gingham table,
the little bit of sugar that goes over the top.
So
Exactly
like the petit
that.
fours and the almond cookies, those definitely.
All the little,
beeline.
yeah,
Just a beeline.
absolutely, and little cakes on little tiny plates, little frosting, beautiful, delicate.
These aren't haunted, are they? I think they should be fine. I mean, they look.
Don't be too, trusting. Things seem a bit off so far.
I already have a cookie in my hand as we're
Wait.
discussing.
Let's just stop and wait and just sort of have a quick look.
Mm-hmm.
Look around.
What would you like to investigate, Mother?
I was thinking of taking stock of a tense situation.
Okay, brilliant. Absolutely. So that is, so I moved my things. So I would take stock of a tense situation, ask one of the following. So which question would you like to ask?
What traps have been laid for the bride?
Oh, okay. We're just
jump right in there.
Wow. All right. So this shelf is laden, food upon food upon food. Like, as far as you can see, it is beautiful. Your eyes are sort of almost eating already this beautifulness, the smell just of, freshly baked cakes. But underneath, you'll feel your stomach sort of, just the amount of sugar and the amount of cream. Like, just one bite it's an indulgence, isn't it? But, you couldn't. Something about how many cakes are there, you don't know where to start. It's enticing, but can you control yourself?
Do you have a problem here?
The trap is diabetes.
Again, where's the problem?
No problem.
They've got insulin in like the 1700s, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Animus? Is there anything you want to ask? I appreciate you've not had much to say recently.
I'm just sort of thinking, it's a strange place, and I see where Mother's coming from, thinking that this might be a trap, and thinking that everything might be a trap, and that the first two places were definitely traps. You would think that this third one. But I would still go with tipping an almond cookie into the tea and then eating it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is that what you do for Tal? Yeah.
Yes.
Not
I already had the cookie in my hand, and
I don't want to assume.
oh no! Well,
it's already gone. Like,
while we're already, we're having this conversation at the speed of thought. That cookie's already been dipped in and in my mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. You maybe you spread, you move a little bit of the cakes to put the tea down. Because otherwise you're just holding all these bits and pieces.
There's nothing wrong with that. No one's looking.
No one's looking, but it's just awkward. It's more. So you put it down.
We balance a cup here.
A cup and very hot tea.
Look, I want to ask a question.
Of course.
And this is particularly the mother, since it is her domain of our personality. How stacked are we? I have many a time used it as a tea tray.
Yeah, that's... If you've got it, use it.
Rewind then. Yes, easily. Put the teacup and is this supposed to be a horror, guys? Put the teacup and easily pour the tea. Easily enough. And
the horror is
how
coming.
I felt when I was running things from the flood for you, and you just decided to turn it into a chip shop game. Hey, I played to my strengths.
I just think that nothing is more terrifying than the thought of accidentally spilling hot tea down your cleavage. Because what a waste of
danger that we must live with.
It's the hot loose leaf as it goes down.
Yep.
And it's just digging it out of your stays later.
Getting out of the corset. Right. Okay, so you do that easily enough. Almost if you had deft practice at pouring tea from this position up into the tea. You holster the teapot, and you move the teacup to the other hand, and you get the almond cookie.
Oh, I didn't realize we took the teapot too. I thought we had just taken the teacup with the tea.
I think, regardless, you have tea in a teacup. For various reasons, for story, we have a tea in a teacup. And you get the almond cookie. And you start to dip. And as it dips, it's beautiful the way it sort of crumbles off. And a little bit goes off down into almost a murky brown sea. And then you just take that bite. And when you sink your teeth into it, that burst of sugar and almonds hits your tongue. And you just feel... It's delicious, and the smell of freshly baked cookies envelops your nostrils, and as soon as you know it, it's gone. You must have more. You reach out for a little tart, throwing away the little tinfoil or the little paper cup that it comes in, and you tasted that. Bits of custard, vanilla, extract just going down, also gone. And you start, one at a time. You can't control yourself in a way, just one cookie, one cake, one tart, one after another. The hunger starts to consume you until your stomach begs you to stop. And you feel your own corset start to tighten, and the tiny button off the back flies out. And the fat seems to be growing and sort of folding in on itself, expanding, spreading around your hips. And it's getting very, very uncomfortable. What would you like to do?
I would like to loosen my clothes, please.
You do. You maybe chewing. Just put the stuff down. Put the cup down. You do it. As you do, a little bit of breathing room for a little bit, but then again continues the growth, the hunger, all consuming. Bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
I think I am going to voluntarily give up the ring as I am now busy on feeding myself.
Who would you like to give it to?
I think I'm going to pass it to the witch.
All right, easy enough. So now that because you've voluntarily given up the ring, you are immune from trauma because you've voluntarily made it up this one. So the witch, you are seeing this happen. You're feeling this happen. Your stomach getting bigger and bigger, and you're but so hungry. It's like a void, but you're getting bigger.
Okay. I would like to I'm not sure how you would caress an all-consuming hunger, but that's what I want to try and do.
Well, just describe what you're trying to do, I guess. Like, what is it that you're trying to do? We can fit the move to it. You see what I mean?
Okay. I mean, I guess I want to kind of acknowledge the hunger and be like, okay, I get it. You know, we're here. You want to be eaten. But please chill. So yeah, I just kind of want to kind of acknowledge it and then just be like, kind of try to calm it. So like, it's not a physical thing. If it were a physical thing, like it were an animal, I'd be trying to stroke it back and be like, okay, calm.
Slow down. Yeah.
Slow down. But I don't know how to physically manifest that.
No, I think that's fair. Caressing a horror makes sense. I guess you're trying to stop it. You're trying to prevent it from whatever it is it's doing. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So if you roll blood for me.
Yeah.
Tell me what you get.
Roll blood for me. I got a 9.
A 9. Okay. So you're there, you're sort of patting yourself down, like your stomach is squeezing and then again folding in on itself, and you're feeling like in your stomach and your intestines, it's like, and you're like, you're trying so hard, and it is abating. Now, how do I do this? You hear off to one corner, there is like a moan, and you look across and you see a figure slumped back in a chair of equal size to you now. Huge. Her own corset loosened. Huge sort of woman, unable to move. The sort of crumbs of her is there. And she's like, I can't. Not another crumb. I can't. Please. She's unable to move. And you feel her stomach is almost like a growling noise that emits from both of you. And you realize that maybe the only way to stop your hunger is to finish someone else's hunger off.
Well, I have no qualms in hurting another to save ourselves. I think I will take whatever we were eating and say, oh, but you must. I insist. And physically try and force feed her.
There's a moment where she struggles. And again, you see her eyes are sort of wide. No, please, no. And you sort of, maybe you just go and just push it against her big lips now, these big plump lips. And goes in. A very small, delicate cake with a little bit of a gem frosting. Maybe even a strawberry on it. And as it sort of goes in, she and starts to choke. And slowly but surely, the air leaves her and she sort of turns a horrible shade of blue. And your own hunger, you take a moment and you look down at yourself and you're fine. There's no extra weight. There's no, the eating, the cravings stop almost as suddenly as they came. You're not there's no excess, there's no nothing. You aren't growing anymore. You look back at this person, this well, not even a person anymore, just as all-consuming hunger. Just sat there with a blue face, eyes wide, staring at you.
Now, come on, it's just like when Poppy did this, just sort of quick sort of push to something to the stomach, and I'll fly it right out, and then this person will be fine, and we'll be done with it. Just, little Heimlich.
Don't recall Poppy being the shade of blue.
I don't think there's much that can be done for her.
Well, we can only try. If we are going to be so...
It will just return to us.
Yes, if it relinquishes her, it comes back to us. We must protect ourselves. We don't know these people, we owe them nothing. We are the mistress here now. They would feel grateful, in fact, to sacrifice themselves for us, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
All this food?
Well, did you not enjoy eating it until we were forced to?
I mean, it was good. I was hungry.
Yes, well, we are hungry no longer, and we need not eat any further. Lest we end up like her.
You have that bitter taste, the aftertaste of too much cream. That sort of horrible smell of it curdling.
Although, now I do regret eating that much.
Mm.
But, I mean, a dead body doesn't feel good in the pantry with all of these cakes.
Well, then we'll remove her, put her somewhere else.
How did the rest of you feel about that?
If we are continually throwing other people to the whims of this house, eventually we'll reach a time in which there'll be no one to throw it onto.
Eventually, yes.
This is the only person that we've done anything to. The other room, the sofa ate us, and the mannequin, that wasn't a person, that was just a mannequin.
I'm not certain that it was. I mean, you heard the way it screamed. You heard the way it wasn't like a horn or an animal or anything like that. The scream was deeply human. How are we to know that it wasn't a person?
It had no arms. People have arms.
Not everyone has arms.
Mannequins don't speak to begin with, let alone scream.
Even though not planted on stands.
Didn't have arms either.
The witch has a good point. It had a pole in it.
The witch, as you are the one with the ring, what would you like to do to exit this room? You could propose a truth.
Yes, I will, but I'm trying to think of what I want my truth to be.
Yeah, absolutely. You've heard your sisters.
Use my mistress move, if that is okay.
Go for it.
Because I'm the one really in control, I will mark a trauma and take the ring back from you.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh.
All right, so, Fatal, please.
I think I would like to propose a truth. And I will take one of those delicious tea cakes that are there and say that in addition to the parties that were had, like the memories of the parties and everything, that the tea cakes were sort of the decadence of whatever Bluebeard's previous social life is. And even though it is sweet, in the end, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and I will take it as a sign of disloyalty.
All right. All right. 1 token for faithfulness and 1 token for disloyalty. Excellent. You are closer to proving the truth. Your unkind suspicions about the husband are true. Mark 1 more trauma.
Is that everyone?
Well, so the Fatale, it's up to you. You can choose to share that with everyone or just take it for yourself.
I think it's up to us. I feel like if we all healed a trauma, we should all be taking a trauma as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm definitely taking a trauma. The Virgin is not enjoying this in any way, shape, or form.
No worries.
I mean,
She
taking a
hates you
trauma
all.
sounds legit, because the witch did just murder someone in cold blood.
Yeah, she is not liking you sisters anymore at all.
Brilliant. So you've both all of you have gone into 3 rooms so far. You've got 1 token of faithfulness, which was the teacup and the teapot, and now 1 token of disloyalty, which is it was one of the cakes, right? I've not
Yeah,
read
one
that
of the tea cakes.
For some reason, I didn't. I was like, why did they take cakes? I was like, that's the only thing we've talked about. So, sorry, I completely blanked on that bit. But
Kind
yes,
of matches
absolutely.
with the whole, tea cake, having a little portable tea party.
Next, we'll have to get a trolley to transport everything up.
And with that, you are able to leave the room. As the doors shut behind you, you are left alone in the corridor. You have 2 tokens with you. As I said before, you've got a token of faithfulness, which is the teacup and teapot. Again, I just assume you've got various pockets to put these things in now, rather than having, or you could put them up here, I do not mind. And a token of disloyalty, which is a little piece of cake. But Fatale, you are in charge of the ring just now, so feel free to come up with the next room. And other sisters, is there anything you'd like to discuss about what's happened in the previous rooms?
Can we just make a rule that we don't touch anything? Please. Every time we've touched something, something has gone wrong.
How can we not touch anything in this house? Like, we are meant to be living in this house, and the fact that we have gone to 3 rooms now, and every single one of them has tried to cause us some harm just by doing seemingly normal things. It's horrific.
Then yes. So why do we keep on doing this? Then it makes
Because
no
we
sense. to me.
cannot live in our bedroom for the rest of our lives.
The bedroom
We
is
must.
perfectly fine.
Actually,
At least it's not got
it
dead
is.
bodies in it.
We should
Do
probably
you not wish
get
to
a
live
change
more
of
than
clothes.
that? I cannot.
I think we should check out the closet.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it does raise the
Animus
question
means
of...
the closet under the stairs, Fatale, not the wardrobe.
Oh. No, I actually meant our wardrobe in our bedroom. I think since we slept in it and nothing tried to kill us, we should go to the bedroom where we can have a breather and maybe think
How
of...
sure are we that nothing tried to kill us because our husband was there last night and they would not try to kill him because this is all under his command?
And there's just this pause of like, darn it, why? That
Stop
meme of
being so
Falcon,
logical.
of Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like, you're way off base, but gosh darn it, you're right. Well, I guess the only way we'll know for sure is if we go back, and if something tries to kill us, we'll just leave.
You could harness it.
Makes sense.
What are you looking for, Fatal? What was your key?
I look for a very familiar key. I think that's very kind of gilded and opulent, like our bedroom, and has maybe like rubies on it, and very kind of decorative and gilded.
Okay.
As I head to where I assume our bedroom was.
Yeah, it's been some time. It's been a couple of hours, and this huge place, these sort of the corridors and doors leading off them, you get so easy to turn around. Looking at the key, like you said, it's got the gilded design and little teeny tiny rubies just into the handle. Almost looks like rosebuds in a way. And you look and you see ahead of you there is a door which seems to match that sort of motif. You see sort of two dirty glass doors framed by sort of darkened ivy. And as you sort of go to it, you can hear the door sort of creak. And you put the key in the lock, you turn the key, the doors open and the room beckons. You enter and the doors shut behind you. This room is very different to the other rooms that you've been in, and instantly you realize it is not your bedroom. It is in fact an old greenhouse. The rays of the setting sun almost turn emerald in this moist air. The air is still in here, but you can hear the rustle of nature echoing off the faded greenhouse window panes. Your kitten heels click delicately across a cracked wooden deck as you make your way to the center of the room. Small potted trees take up most of this deck, leaving you room to step down down a couple of stairs into soft, rich soil. Two long wooden tables hold hundreds of small potted plants. The strong smell of rot fills your senses, forcing your nose to sort of crinkle. Just beyond the tables is a rusted tool shed. And opposite the shed is a delicate-looking bench standing on a darker patch of dirt.
This is not our bedroom.
Are there any rose bushes around?
No rose bushes, per se. There's lots of potted plants, and you can see some of them are budding slightly. Okay.
What's the final thing that you said in the description?
So the final thing was opposite the shed is a delicate-looking bench standing on a darker patch of dirt.
Are there any tools about? Any sort of gardening tools?
Oh, yes, plenty.
Is there like an axe?
Not an axe, but a shovel and a hoe and one of those free forked things. I don't know the technical term.
Yeah. So I would like to be a brute.
Okay.
So I would like to go take the hoe and go up to this bench, which is obviously something meant for trouble. Given that we are not in our bedroom, given that everything that we've seen, and I would like to destroy the bench. And in doing so, I would like to investigate it.
Absolutely.
See what horrors lie.
Absolutely. I love it. Can't trust sitting down. Burn!
Can't trust it.
No, it's not a sofa. I don't care. So.
Every piece of...
Just as long as you don't touch it.
Every piece of comfort or happiness we've been given in this house has wanted to destroy us. Anything that will make us happy.
Let's look for things that are not nice, and the things which are really bad, and they'll be safe. All the good things we.
You mean like the freshly tilled grave beneath this bench?
So yeah.
Grave?
So
you said grave.
So animus. So you're breaking this French, and are you asking one more question? Sorry, what's your move again? Sorry,
yeah. So I get to ask my investigate mysterious object questions.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask, what memories does this item hold, and what about this item is odd or uncanny?
Okay.
And then once you've answered, I get to ask a follow-up question.
Perfect. Okay. And yes, and then the rest of the sisters unfortunately can't ask anything else, but I think that'll be okay. So you go, and you again, that's sort of fear. Again, just seeing any sort of CT thing, you remember what happened back in the tea room. So you grab the hoe, and you go, and as you smash down on it, this very delicate, beautiful sort of wrought sort of metal bench. As you break down into it, the first question was, what do these memories hold? As you start to bash into it, you see a little plaque on it, and it says, well, no, sorry, it's not a plaque. I'll rephrase that. You see sort of carved on it, there is the initials A and L in a heart on it. And as you sort of kick down, it sort of breaks apart, and beneath you see the soil, and on the soil you can see two gloved hands sort of intertwined, just barely covered by the soil. Your second question, what about this item is odd or uncanny? Well, it was clearly placed strategically over something. The way it's set in the room, like, why would you sit here? Like, you can't see anything. You're looking back up and stuff. It's clearly meant to hide something.
And then I think my follow-up question is going to be about the hands. And maybe something like, what type of hands are these, or do I know whose hands these are?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that works. Yeah. That works, absolutely. So the way they are clasped, one hand you can see is gloved with a beautiful sort of dark satin and almost like a ring, very similar to your own, the bride's own on it. And then on the other side is a very sort of pale, deathly pale looking hand, smaller, both feminine, tied together, almost like in a near grip, like that.
Sisters, this is... What are these hands? What does this mean?
Well,
We're roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Had some lodges. Oh,
You set that one up.
solved.
Next mystery.
there's clearly something haunting this house. Maybe there's some spirits to be put to rest or something. Can we do something like that?
Perhaps you could try to help them. Mother, you are much better at that than the rest of us. Soothe them, perhaps.
Why are they buried so close to the surface? Is the one thing. Should they not be buried deep, as is traditional?
Why are they not buried in the cemetery on the grounds?
Why are there buried bodies here in the first place?
Why is there a dead person in our pantry?
That's
that one was my fault, but...
We'll deal with these dead bodies now. We didn't do these.
These ones were not my fault.
That's what you say, but can we be sure?
I've not left your presence, have I? Did you see me sneak off and kill 2 further people?
Well, I know you have many skills.
This is true, but not discorporation yet.
What would you like to do?
What I was trying to guess at was care for them.
Okay.
So I wanted to try and soothe the dead bodies as best I can. I'm assuming there's 2 because it's 2 different hands, but
it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, two hands. So I would I or one of the others, because I don't think I'm particularly caring what I'm trying to get at, was take off one of the gloved hands, try and loosen the fingers a bit, and try and make it a more comfortable grip. So instead of clutching, they're just holding nicely, and hope that soothes them somewhat.
Okay, all right. So you start to sort of try and ease the grip a little bit, going forward to touch. And after a little while, you manage to pry them apart. And the hands, the fingers are stiff there. And as you go to move one to the other, they both grab your hand. And slowly but surely, they start to shift and the soil loosens itself. And you see, well, two people, essentially. One wrapped around the other arm sort of there, as if almost like shielding the other from some terrible thing. One looks like a very young woman, quite like yourself. Her long black hair loose all the way down her back, excuse me, as a plait. The other dressed in more sort of servant garb, sort of an apron, sort of smeared with soil and such. And the partner, they both look up to you. The servant, quiet, her hat, a servant's hat, loose over her hair. And the woman with the long black hair looks to you and goes, "Oh, it's so good to have other people here. Oh, gosh, you're so beautiful." And puts a hand to your cheek as well. The servant, nothing, still cradled in the arm of the other lady.
Happened to you?
We were bad. We just wanted to, well, he couldn't fulfill us, so we wished to be together. And the servant, again, slowly looks away, not saying anything, quiet. You must understand, it's so hard. The structure, the status, the thing, it's so hard when, who can you confide in but someone who knows the experience you've been a part of? Someone who knows me, knows anything. You must understand that. You're so beautiful. Again, goes up to your face to caress it.
It's okay. We're here now. We're here. We're in this situation as well. Don't worry. There are people here who understand. Don't fear anymore. We are here to help. Is there anything that we can do to help you?
Yes.
We can listen. We can help.
Oh, you're so beautiful. Your skin, your face. And she sort of, the lady sort of intertwines her fingers with yours. Just come, we can together. All three of us, we could be happy. And the servant goes to grab your other hand.
Yes, we can be happy. We'll help you out of the hole. Come, be free. We'll take you away from this place. Quite clearly, I'm now trying to not get us pulled into this hole.
Come on.
Can I caress a horror since I still have the ring?
Absolutely. So tell me, how do you caress this horror?
I think I willingly kind of let them embrace to basically kind of position myself to perhaps have them just playing along to get what they're after, and then maybe position myself towards the door so I can bolt, sort of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll for me plus blood.
All right. That's a 6.
You try your best.
This is why I say don't touch things.
turns out the things touch you.
Hey.
So you're trying your best. Again, the grip, they're fairly strong for women of such slight build. They are quite strong, and you're like, sure. And they both sort of pull themselves up to their full height. And the lady sort of is like, oh, thank you. Oh, it's so good to have people who understand where we're from. And yes, absolutely. And the servant sort of leans into you and opens their mouth, almost as if to share a secret. And as she does so, her mouth opens, the jaw distends, and soil starts to pull out of her mouth, almost as if she, like a river, as it were.
I'm going to pass the ring to the animus.
You certainly can. You certainly can. All right,
because I also completed Caress of Horror.
You might want to wipe.
Sorry, say that again, Miriam. Sorry, I missed that last bit.
Oh, I was going to say because I also used a ring move.
You did?
So I'm passing it to the animus.
It's not convenient. Absolutely. So animus, suddenly you're in control and you have this soil.
You have hands.
You have this spilling down you, talking to you. And it's just the sudden weight of it pushes you down, and the servant starts to get on top of you and starts to kiss and lick your skin with the soil again coming over you, almost sort of pushing you down with the weight. And you hear her partner giggle and laugh and say, it's all going to be fine. You understand where we're from. You understand. You're pushed slowly down with this soil, down and down.
I think I'm gonna choose violence. That's not the right word for the move.
Yep, dirty yourself with violence. Absolutely.
Literally.
We are literally dirtying ourselves at the moment.
Wow, it's all worked out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what are you trying to do?
I'm gonna try disable them. I don't want to mutilate them because I still care for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm rolling with blood, right?
You're rolling with carnality.
Excellent. Because I rolled a 6.
Oh,
Plus 1, I get a 7.
Oh,
Yay!
just do it! Amazing. Okay, so you can disable them, but you also have to choose one from the following list as well, because it's a my gated hit. So your vulnerability opens you up to trauma, or your carelessness leaves you in a bad spot. Which one of those would you like to take?
I think my carelessness is going to leave me in a bad spot.
Fair.
I think there's a sense to which I'm so torn between this notion of caring for these two people and wanting to make sure they're okay, but also knowing self-preservation is important and I need to get me and my sisters out safe. So I'm desperately trying to get them out, but...
Definitely. So you start to fight back. Your hand goes up to where the servant's jaw is sort of unlatched like a snake, like the soil pouring and pouring and pouring, and you push your hand up so it shuts the jaw, and you see her cheeks fill, and then slowly but surely you can see like again that sort of like thing, her eyes wide, and you can see saliva starting to pool outside her mouth as it starts to clag and to clot essentially. And you push her back, but then completely exposed, on the ground, vulnerable. So she manages to push her off, but you are completely on your back, soil still around you. The lady looks to you and it's like, you don't understand. I thought you were one of us, one of the dirt, one of the soil. She straddles you. She goes, you would never understand. You never understand. And starts to push her own sort of soil around and just sort of buries her. Oh God, I must hide this. Can't do it. And starts pouring more soil on you.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to...
Also, you've technically used the ring, so you can pass that on to somebody else.
is it that the Virgin has not had it in a while?
Not recently, no. So you can pass it to the Virgin. So yes, the Virgin, you're feeling this now, the weight and this almost scrabbling panic, whereas before it was almost like a flood, I think, and now it is frantic as this person is panicking, realizing that you are not of the same ilk as what they thought you were.
Remembering the experience of being eaten by a sofa and the crying claustrophobia and almost like it's being buried and the skin going down the throat and now it's soil going down there. I have a full-on panic attack.
Okay.
And I cry out for help. Good to
know. So when you cry out for help, you roll resilience. On a hit, a house servant comes to address your concerns and calm your hysteria. On a 7 and 9, they help you, but they first need proof of your loyalty to the Bluebeard. So the roll plus resilience.
Resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is the first time I'll have rolled dice in a game for a very, very, very long time. I try to play games which avoids doing this, but I get an 11, so...
Oh, you succeed. Okay.
I'm going to save these dice for a future use. They're good dice. I like these two.
So as you're sort of like, again, this is how you're like, help! And you sort of like scream and the tears come. And suddenly it stops and you hear almost a struggle happening and you sort of manage to use your last of your strength to whip out the soil in your eyes and you see a man who looks like a gardener of some sort, the flat cap over his face, again just wrestling with this creature, this woman who is now panicking, trying to hide you. And he's like, don't worry, miss, I've got this, miss. And starts to pull her back and then opens the shed door and slams her inside it. You see across from you the servant with her mouth blocked now, full of this soil, sort of staring, like watching her beloved be trapped in the shed, like crying out for it. And the servant is like, get out of here, miss. You must leave. I will tend to this.
Because I've just done a ring move, I'm going to pass the ring off.
Yep.
And I'll give it to Mother now, knowing that Mother is good at keeping a level head in situations where I really can't. So,
absolutely. So, Mother, you have now the ring, and again, you see this the sort of gardener looking back and forth, an older man, almost sort of stick thing and a huge sort of scraggly beard, eyes sharp, as much as like, you must go. I will tend to this here.
Leave them together. They should be together.
What are you talking about?
What they deserve.
They are nothing. They do not deserve to be together.
Well, why demand an act? What is going on here? Everywhere we've been, there's been these horrible creatures, horrible things.
Miss, you must calm yourself. You cannot act like this. Look, you must know your place.
I am the lady of this house, and I will not be talked to in that way by a gardener.
Well, maybe if you ask more nicely, we would be able to sort this problem out. But as you are not, you are hysterical. I beg you, my lady, leave this place to me.
What's your name?
Gilbert.
Good luck, Gilbert.
And you, my lady.
And turn on a hill and leave.
So are you escaping the room? Or are you proposing a truth of the room as you walk towards the exit?
I'm going to grab I think there's a trowel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That with blood on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just grab a random trowel because I'm like, well, I need weapons. Mm-hmm. And then I sort of notice that it has sort of dried blood.
Yes.
And I'm like, that doesn't look like animal blood.
So would this be a token? Like, what is the truth about this room? Like, is it a sign that Bluebeard is faithful or disloyal?
I'll tell you it's a total of disloyalty.
Okay.
I think the truth is that, there are many more secrets in this house than there should be, and both master and servants work to keep them hidden.
And looking at the trowel as well, it is covered not only in blood, but also dirt, soil sticking to it. And you sort of shake away, and you're able to leave. And that, I think we'll leave it there for this week.
The Virgin makes a mental note to get Gilbert sacked at some point.
He's just doing his job.
Being an arse.
But thank you so much, friends. Thank you for playing. Thank you so much for watching as well. I've got a few minutes just at the end of the stream in case anyone wants to plug anything at all. We'll go around in the same order and just say, or you can plug something of your own projects or something that you like as well. You don't have to plug yourself. I'm just saying. But we'll go in the same order as we always do. So Animus, Hazel, is there anything you'd like to plug?
If anyone likes both LARPing and Cyberpunk, I've got a Cyberpunk LARP coming up. You can go to our Facebook page, which is Bobbit Worm Games. I'll put the thing in the chat. And find out about playing out a Cyberpunk LARP. It's online as well. It's exciting.
Ooh. And I will say I've played in one of Hazel's ones, the Nautical Trench, which was amazing, but also annoying because we all died. Spoiler. I blame another player, but it's fine. No, it was really good fun. And Hazel is an amazing LARPer and GM in their own right. So thank you so much for that. Miriam, the Fatale, is there anything you would like to plug?
Yeah. So first of all, you can find me on Twitter at media_junkie. Please do not do media junkie, as some poor person got tagged in another show I was doing that went kind of viral. So that was interesting. But I would love to plug. I'm part of Utopia, which is a Twitch stream for BIMPOC by BIMPOC. We are doing a Pride charity brunchathon for this month. So every Saturday and Sunday afternoons, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we run games that are designed by BIMPOC and have a QTPOC cast running. So this weekend special, June 19th, is Juneteenth. So we're having the Black members of our community come together and run and play games. And then on the 20th, we've got For My Family, which is a wonderful game that is... I think hack from For the Queen. And there's many more games also the following month, and we're raising money for Black and Pink, which is a great organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can highly recommend following Mariam on basically anything Mariam does. They are incredible game master. And we're on quite a few of Bluebeard's brides anyway. So instantly I'm like, that they are in this game. But no, amazing. Please follow their work. The mother, Vivienne, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Hi. I'm Ocean1212_W on Twitter. You find the games that I've written at genderphage.itch.io. And I'm currently playtesting one that's testing very well. It should be fun and should be up. And I'm launching a podcast soon. It is not out yet. It will be. It's called Patrick Anthology. We have a cast of 11. And we're going to see how that goes. We're recording the games at the moment, and they're all really good. So
amazing. So is it different systems, or is it one system?
We're currently going to do 6 one-shots in different systems. It's the first one, and I'm playing in a game of Dialect and a game of Good Society.
Oh,
and
amazing. Oh, very good. Oh, well, definitely be checking that out. Thank you so much, Vivienne. David, the Virgin, is there anything you would like to plug?
Many things. Obviously, this is my own stream. This is my own Twitch channel. So we will be back here next week for the concluding part of this tale. You can catch up on the other game that we played a couple of weeks ago with Fiona, where we played some things from the flood, where it was meant to be a horror story, but it basically turned into teenagers running around being stupid. There was horror in the end, but
yes.
I
didn't ruin it completely.
You didn't ruin it completely, no. But you did hide a skeleton in a chip shop.
Yes.
Spoiler alert on that one. Obviously, there is my podcast, The Drunken Storyteller, where I tell folk tales and delve into folklore and stuff. And the latest story that came out was actually based on Bluebeard. It's I retell the original story from Charles Perrault, and then delve into kind of the connections to feminist folklore in that. And I've done lots of other episodes on things like Japanese folklore. I've done modern digital folklore and things like that. I'm also part of the Darker Days radio crew, where we do a podcast based on horror RPGs and basically World of Darkness and Chronicles of Darkness, and also some Darkhammer, which is the Warhammer worlds. Mm-hmm. We've just finished it now, but we'll be starting up again maybe in a couple of months. Warhammer Fantasy Enemy Within campaign over on Gehenna Gaming Studios as well. And Fiona's again involved in that. She turned up for one session and had a very bad day.
Very bad day.
And
always the way.
It was a very bad day for you. You turn up and then the city gets destroyed. It might be your fault. And then one last thing, there is another game in the works that will be hopefully shown on Friday 30th of July. And this one is something special. Not that this isn't special now. This is an amazing game with some amazing people, but
we'll have words later, maybe.
I've got something quite cool lined up for that. Also, I'm a freelance RPG writer, and there's stuff out there that I've written in places. You might find, you might not. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough from me.
No worries. Well, I will definitely be checking out whatever's happening on the 30th of June. Curious.
July. 30th
July. All right. Well, then I've got a month to wait. But thank you very much.
I need time to prep.
To write it. Fair. And last but by no means least, The Witch. Amy, is there anything you'd like to plug?
There is not. Other than you should probably check out all the guys' stuff because it all sounds really cool.
That's totally fine. Well, and I will finally finish off. Thank you for watching. I have been Fiona from What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast where we do all sorts of different systems, which you can find wherever you listen to podcasts. And I'll just say good night. Thank you, sisters, for playing with me this evening, and we'll see you next time.
What else will our bride find in Bluebeard's mansion? What will they see in the final room? Or will they shatter before they even get there? Find out next time on What Am I Rolling? The What Am I Rolling podcast was created, recorded, and edited by me, Fiona Howat. This episode's players were Hazel, Mariam, Vivienne, David, and Amy. This episode's RPG was Bluebeard's Bride, a tabletop role-playing game of supernatural horror set in a familiar fairy tale. Written by Whitney Strix-Beltran, Marissa Kelly, and Sarah Richardson, and published by Magpie Games. You can find out more information about Bluebeard's Bride and get your own copy on the official Magpie Games website. That's magpiegames.com/Bluebeards-Bride. The theme music was 8-Bit March by Twin Musicon of twinmusicon.org, licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you want to find out more about the podcast, check out the website. That's www.wairpodcast.com. Fancy getting in touch? Email the podcast at whatamirollingpodcast@gmail.com. Finally, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at WAIR_podcast for the latest news on upcoming episodes. And remember, adventurers need not apply.